Hello, my nuggets, how's it going? And welcome to another episode of Factions, Tips, and Tricks. I believe this would be one of the last episodes. Could be another bonus episode, I'm not really too sure yet. But this episode is pretty, self-explanatory. Like, it's pretty simple, but I wanted to make it just in case, because I know some of you don't understand and some of you want it. Now, episode is about base building, and it's not those type of bases we're talking about right now, because when it comes to base building, that is not my specialty. I don't know how to do them right, and if I made a tutorial on how to make those bases, there would be tons of exploits made. But this show is about not for the people who really know factions. If you really know factions, there's no point watching this. But these are the people who just want little tips and guidance on what to do to just be a little bit more safe, really. So guys, if you do enjoy this, slap the like button. If you did just slap it right now, thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. Let's see if we can smash 1,000 likes this episode. That would be amazing. So anyway, so I have showed you how to do the unclaimed bases. I've showed you how to make money. I've showed you how to find raids, and now you should be at the point where you should be making some sort of claimed base. Now, anti-claim base is better than an unclaimed base, and I'm going to show you how you can make literally really simple claim bases, because if a hacker comes along and even sees a really simple claim base, or just some people, they might not, one, have the supplies to can you, or most people don't actually know how to cannon whatsoever. So this will save you more than an unclaimed base. And I just want to note that you can do this underground as well if you want to be a little bit more safer. Now, doing it underground, I would probably say yes, copy this underground, because it's actually probably a lot easier and better, but I want to do it above surface so it's just a bit easier to see. This is pretty simple. If you know how to play factions, you don't need to watch this. You don't need to watch this, because this is how I would set up a quick base. So obviously you're going to need a lot of water buckets and stuff like that, and obviously a lot of cobblestone hopefully saved up. Now I'm going to be using this in GM1, so I don't actually have a ton of stuff. But we just want to make something that will be a lot safer than an unclaimed base, because an unclaimed base is so vulnerable, but a claimed base with at least some sort of protection is some sort of protection. People have to work to get inside it. But like, these aren't completely safe. People could still raid them very easily, but they're more safer than an unclaimed base, and a lot of people wouldn't even know how to get into a base, because some people actually can't cannon, surprisingly. But some people can, but it depends. It's up to the person, whoever finds your base, and if they can cannon, it's up to the person if they want to raid you or not, because they might not think it's, like, if they think it's worth it, then fair enough, they can raid you, but hopefully if you're active and stuff, you'll be okay. But like, this base should hopefully keep you sorted until you find, like, maybe like a proper faction to join. When you're in this base, I want your main priority, guys, to find a big group of people to move out into a different type of base. Don't pretend that this base is just safe base. It's just safer than an unclaimed base. This is where you should be looking for a proper faction to join. So anyway, let's get this started. So make sure it's at least 2 blocks off the ground. You'll see in a minute. So you could make it as big as you want. So you're literally just making a box. You know what? We'll work with a very small box right now, because, you know, we're only going to be storing it. And if we made a small box like this, say this size, you'd have enough to grind your wolves and your natural mouse spawners in, because you, like I said, you shouldn't be living here for too long. And a bonus, guys, if you really want to, if you really want to be safe, you might be able to do it. If you have obsidian, use obsidian on this box, because then at least it saves you from getting creep wrecked if you accidentally make an exploit with it. But hopefully this base I'm about to show you, it shouldn't be able to get creep wrecked. And make a box. You can make it how big you want. Obviously, it doesn't really matter if you're making it, like, you don't need, if you're planning not to live in this long and you're only using this base for, like, obviously a bit of extra protection and just while you're searching for a proper faction to join, this base should do. And also a little tip while I'm just building this box, if you are looking for a faction to join, you can, and spamming chat isn't working, or talking in chat isn't working, there could be faction recruitment threads on the forums for each server, so I would definitely try to check that out. Okay, so anyway, now you'll be surprised the amount of people that don't actually do this sort of stuff. Now, some people are probably sitting there right now and be like, dude, this is so simple, and it is, but some people don't actually do it, and that's the surprising thing. That's why I'm making this. It's so simple to make some sort of claim base that will protect you probably quite well. Now, guys, if you want, make this 3 thick, because if you're using these tips on other servers, some servers can have bad anti-cheat or anti-glitch like, well, sometimes people can glitch into your base. Some ways are formed. Like, it happens on every faction server, really. So, yeah, making, like, 3 layers and stuff would probably be a good idea. Okay, so we have the base here. So the first thing you want to do, because this is the main thing, if you don't do this, this base won't work. Unless you have it made out of obsidian, then yeah, it might be fine. So what you want to do is you want to just completely water the bottom. Now this is messy, but this is just a simple way of making a quick protective base, really. So you want to water the bottom, because otherwise if you don't, you probably get creeper eggs straight away. So make sure you get every single bit, like you don't leave any dry patches or anything like that. Okay, so we have that fully watered at the bottom, so now we're going to water the top. Now, there is a crucial part here that you need to make sure that you do, otherwise this base will be ripperonied in half straight away. You need to make sure that you water your corners. If you don't water your corners, people can creeper egg into them. So you need to make sure you come here and you water the corners and you make sure to save. And make sure you don't... But yes, make sure you water your corners. That is very, very important. Just as important as the bottom here. So even just like this is a little bit of a protected base. Like, you know what I mean? If someone came across here, didn't know how to cannon, they probably wouldn't know how to get in here whatsoever. When really, really experienced came over, they could get into this base very fast, but that's if they want to do it. Like, they probably will do it, but that's if they want to do it. Like I said, this is meant to be for the start of the map, so if people want to waste a TNT on a base like this, then fair enough. Now, the beautiful thing about this base is that you can pretty much just make your own walls, if that makes sense. So, like, let's say, like, you don't have to go... You could gen walls if you want to, but obviously, if you gen walls, that could get a bit messy, especially if you're making a messy base like this with water on the floor. So, you could just build some walls around the base. It shouldn't take too long. So, pretty much, just as simple as this. I know it's not even and stuff, but this is not meant to be a pretty base. It's not meant to be a faction base. This is, like I said, I just want to make sure that you guys know, this is meant to be a little bit of a safe haven for when you're getting, like, when you're trying to join a new faction, or maybe you're trying to recruit people for your own faction, so you can go building proper bases, like big bases like that. So what you can do is you can literally just build walls around your base really easy. You only need like 4 or 5 walls. It should do you for like at least 2 days at least, if you're active and stuff. But then you just put wall over it, and then that's boom, that's one extra wall, that's one extra bit of protection. Then you just rinse, repeat, keep doing that. And if you want to, if you really, really want to, and it could be an idea, because as well, people, if they don't have the right cannon for it, they're going to need to use creeper eggs. And obviously at the start of the map, creeper eggs are a little bit like on the expensive side, and a lot of people don't have them. You could put slabs down. You could actually put slabs down. Oh, that's not double slab. You could put slabs down on the wall, and obviously that's... Say that you add 2 walls. Just 2 walls. So technically 3 walls. So you're, like, obviously the 2 walls in your base wall, technically. So 3 walls. Let's just say that that's still something. That's still protected in that sense. It's more... Put it this way. Someone with an unclaimed base, someone could just mine into it. At least this, they have to use some sort of TNT, creeper egg, or some way of getting into it, if there's a way. I don't think anyone can creeper egg this base. Obviously, they can creeper egg these corners, so you gotta make sure that you water those corners, actually. Make sure you water your corners. That's all I can say. If you don't water your corners, ripperoni base straight away. You do until you get a proper faction going. Now, if you don't want to slab every single wall, fair enough. Maybe put slabs on this wall, because if they say someone is raiding you, say someone who just about knows how to cannon, just about knows what he's doing or something like that, and he is raiding you, and he gets through this wall really easily, and then he tries to cannon this wall, and he's like, why is my sand stacking? A lot of people sometimes forget that it's actually slabs there, and they think their cannon's broken, and obviously it upsets them, and then they just don't bother raiding it. So yeah. And even if you want to, you could add a sand wall going around here if you really want that extra protection. Now, obviously, it wouldn't really be that great, because obviously it's not going very, very high in the sky, unless you wanted it to make it go high in the sky. And that's like the equivalent of, like, I don't know how many walls, really, if you think about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know it's pretty simple. I really, really know that. But I really wanted to share this, because a lot of people don't really decide to do this. They just live in unclaimed bases, they get raided, and then they quit. Like, you know what I mean? There's no point. This is literally a 5-minute job without even being in creative mode. And especially if you have like another person in your team already, it would be a 2-minute job. It'd be freaking... But make sure you water your corners. That's very important, because if you don't, people will be able to creeper egg into it. And that is literally a quick, simple, claimed base with 2 walls on it. And if anyone wants to raid it, at least they have to work to raid it, because they have to set up a cannon and they have to go through it. But anyway, this was a very simple episode. I'm going to end this here. This is going to be the last episode of Faction Tips and Tricks, I believe. I was debating showing this or not, because, like, obviously it's so simple, but I just wanted to end this episode and just let everyone know, because, like, this, as I said at the start, this series is not directed at pro or really, really good faction players. It's directed at the casual players, the literal casual players, pretty much. That's what I directed it at. So that's why the base like this. It's just like, you'd be surprised at why people don't do this. You'd be very, very surprised. But this should protect you for a while until you hopefully get into a big enough faction to build proper claim bases. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this episode here. There'll probably be another video out in 2 hours from now like normal. And I shall see you guys in the next one.